Aloha. That's what they say here on the islands. Yeah, it's another Tuesday night here, getting ready for the Wednesday morning roundup. No, not really. As you can see, it is 8 o'clock p.m. here. So I don't know what time of the world it is, where you're at, but whatever time it is, it's a good time. We are here waiting for the remnants or the whatever of Olivia, which has been downgraded to a tropical storm. And so we'll probably get a whole bunch of rain and a whole bunch of wind, and we might even lose our power. Hopefully not for very long, because when the power goes out, our elevator goes out, and those steps are big. So because we're on the 6th floor. So I don't like to carry myself up all those steps. My hips don't like it. My knees don't like it. So we brought up all the heavy stuff. We brought up water and all of that kind of stuff while the elevator's working. Supposedly they have a generator here that kicks in and everything. But last time the power got knocked out, the generator burned up, and we were out of an elevator for almost, 6 weeks? It was a killer. It was really good for the legs, though, because we had to go up and down, because you got to get to the beach. You got to go down, come back up from the beach, go to dinner, go down, So anyway, so now that that's out of the way, hope everything's going good where you're at. I don't know who's watching this, except for I know Scott is. So how's things in Spain? Because whatever that is, it never rains on the plains in Spain or whatever. I can't remember all that stuff. Anyway, today or tonight, wherever you're at, we are going to discuss questions. I like to do a lot of reading, and so I read all kinds of different books. I read self-help. I read business books. I read business management books. How to grow this business, that business, different types of businesses. I studied economics in college. I love numbers and things like that. So one of the really interesting things that have been discovered in the last little bit through what they call neurolinguistics or neuroscience is the actual functioning of the mind, how it actually works. We know we have a conscious, we know we have a subconscious, we know we have an ego. Some say we have a soul or a spirit. I believe we do have a soul and a spirit that controls it all, but it won't get in our way because we have choice given to us by our God. So what they're finding is that really the part of our brain that controls most of what's going on in our lives, in fact, about 99.9% of it, is our subconscious. They can now go into the brain and determine that the subconscious sends us the answer to what we think we are coming up with milliseconds before we actually come up with it, before it actually comes out of our mouth. So what is happening is all this stuff's happening in our subconscious, and what the subconscious does is it's basically a computer. It does what you tell it to do. So like a good computer, which our brain is a good brain, we have to ask it the right questions, because if we don't, it's going to give us the right answer according to it, but might not give us the answer we're looking for. So the way we do that, instead of like when we type into a computer, why is the world round? It will give us a whole bunch of reasons why the world is round. If we type into it, why do birds fly straight up? It will tell us why they fly straight up. If we ask it why they fall down, it will find reasons for them to fall down too. So what I'm saying is we can ask our brains questions that work for us or work against us. And the biggest thing most of us have to do, we have in our vocabularies, is this if word, if, and why. Because the brain has a really hard time with ifs and whys, because it works in concrete, or what it thinks is concrete. So if we, like me, I tend to be here. You probably can't see there. If you know me, and so if I continue to ask myself why I'm overweight, or why I stay overweight, or why no diets work, my subconscious is going to tell my conscious why all the reasons it doesn't, and it's going to continue to do what I tell it to. It's going to give me reasons why. So if I ask it how, yeah, we're going to screw it up. We're going to make it give us some positive answers. How can I best lose this weight? It will then have to work on finding out how we can do it. If we ask it how we can not eat so much, it's going to just give us a whole bunch of reasons why we don't. It's not going to find us reasons of how to do something, because it only works in a positive mode. That's another thing they're finding. It does not do negatives. So if we ask it, for example, why am I not losing weight? Or why can't I gain weight? It will just throw out the can't, because the can't in its mind is a negative, and it will just continue to have you gain weight. So what I'm saying is that we have to look at the questions, and what they're finding is that what works best for us is what and how questions. For example, what do I want out of my business? Instead of why do I want to go into business? What do I want out of it? It will then have to look and see what it is really that we want, not just give us a whole bunch of reasons. It's going to, what do I want the most out of my business? And then when we do that, we ask it, how do I get that? And let it do its job. Because don't answer for it. Don't come up, stop and think, and just let it do its job. Let it find out how we can do that. Maybe we need to read another book. Maybe it will tell us we need to follow this example, that example, talk to more people, get better at training. I did the same thing not long ago. I asked, how can I get really bored over here on the island. And so I read a lot. And so I keep saying, why am I so bored? Why am I so bored? And my subconscious keeps giving me reasons why I am so bored. So when I asked, and I say, hey, this stuff works. So I said, okay, how can I find ways to use my time more wisely? Because I love to read. And so came up with this idea. My subconscious did. It said, just read your books, and every week do a synopsis on a book that you've read, and really tell you whether it's worth reading or not. Because there are a lot of books out there that I think aren't worth reading. Now, maybe your ideas are different. That is totally up to you. But I know a lot of people don't enjoy reading or don't have a lot of time to read, and therefore they, we can listen to. When you listen to a book, you're usually driving or walking or exercising or doing something like that. And because your mind can't focus on two things at one time, that's why a lot of people can't walk and chew gum, talk and chew gum at the same time, or walk and chew gum at the same time, because one has to become a habit. And if the mind is trying to chew gum and walk, it's going to have to just bounce back and forth really fast. So the focus is important. That's one of the reasons we stop and ask ourselves, okay, now this is really good for the people you work with. If you happen to employ people, or there's people that work with you, or that you are a coach or a leader of any kind. If you ask your friends or your clients when they're telling you, this just isn't working for me. I just can't figure out what it is. I just can't do it. Nobody will talk to me. And, that's exactly what happens. Now, there's a lot of intention in there and, going back and back. But the way to get around that is to just ask ourselves really simple questions. How? So when you talk to somebody, for example, we're in the network marketing business, direct sales. And so when we talk to somebody, we have learned that when we ask them, instead of asking them why they are interested in going into business for themselves or why they need extra money, we ask them what questions. We ask them how questions. We ask them, what is it you really want the money for? What is it you really need? Some need money, some need time, some need a lot of different things. And so asking what, how questions, because questions. If somebody says nobody will talk to me, all you have to do is say, just tell them because, and let them answer because. Maybe it's because they don't talk to anybody. Maybe it's because they're angry. Maybe it's because they're not happy. Maybe it's because they dress wrong. I don't know the reason, okay? The mind will know. And so it will tell the person. Then all we have to do is get used to trusting ourselves. And that, again, is a question for another night. So I hope you're having a great time. And I hope you're asking yourselves really good questions on how can I make my goals come true? How can I flex that freedom wallet? How can I do this? How can I do that? And what is it that I really want? What am I looking for in life? Am I looking to be happy? What is success about? What is my determination for success? Might be somebody different than for somebody else. So when we're talking to other people, we can use these what questions, how questions, and because questions will make them think deeper, make them come up with just single answers, and it will be better for everybody. Then all we got to do is figure out how to continue to do it. All right, everybody, have a great time at whatever you're doing. Bye-bye. End stream. Stream's not ending. Babe, stream isn't ending. Hi, everybody. How you doing? We're trying to end here. It's not working.
You've got the arrow on end stream, and it's not doing it.
It's not doing it. I'm sorry. I can't do anything about it. And stream. Okay, the technical master is coming to help us end the stream. Oh, I was pushing on it.
I said, do you have the arrow on it? And push. See,
well, I was pushing this arrow right there.
That's the arrow I did right there.
No, I was pushing that arrow. I was pushing it like this.
Oh.
What didn't you like about it?
I didn't have anything to say. I wasn't even really listening. I was trying to give you free energy space to be creative. Like what? Oh, I'm trying to stay awake. I really should probably just go to bed.
Why don't you go to bed?
Are you sure you want to end your stream? Does that mean it didn't end?
No.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh.